YouTube, welcome on in. I got my Twitch chat. I got Mr. Giovanni here, and I'm about to show you one of the last remaining pure free-to-play legends. As you can notice, no monthly packs, no monthlies bought. Let's go ahead and look at his paid Skystones real fast. Okay. Check own Skystones, none. Now, guys, before y'all comment on YouTube that this doesn't prove anything, right? Because it resets monthly or whatever it is. Unless Giovanni sends me his bank statements, there's no way for us to know, for sure. But we take his word for it. He hasn't given us any reason to doubt. And no monthlies. And the hero journal lacking. Gio, I'm taking a quick look here, right? We're missing still 20 ML5s. 20 ML5s. So, guys.
You could also, you could check which ones I own. They're all pretty good.
That is what's nice, though. And that is something that's good about your count, is the ML5s you own are very solid. The only major ones you're missing is like APOC, Archdemon, and then I guess you could say Rylet, Charles. But you do have some of the best ones, of course, like Koeric, Stenny.
Yeah, so that's why I would say, like, even though I am free to play, there is some
luck.
There's definitely luck to it also.
But in season 6, for you to still be free to play, it's still very nice. And that was the first time, right? You're just telling us this is the first time you've hit legend. You've been close in the past, but this is the first season. Yeah,
the first time finished. Yeah.
All right, Gio. Well, then let's go ahead and introduce yourself for both the Twitch chat and YouTube.
All right. Hey guys, my name is Giovanni DM15. If anything, I'm always watching Epic 7 streams, so maybe you've seen me in chat maybe sometime within the past 2 years or so. I'm not a day one player. I started playing around 2 years and 5 months ago, so 2.5 years. So I started like a year late.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of things have changed since I joined, and I would say being free to play right now at the current time, my account's already established. So I think that's people, like, they need to keep that in mind, especially gear wise. It might be harder to be free to play now than it was before.
Yeah,
but
that's
maybe we'll see how things change. I mean, things are looking good for the future, at least, maybe. So we'll see what happens.
All right, man. One of the last hopes for pure free to play to hit legend. You ready to start, Gio?
Yeah, I'm ready, yeah.
All right, let's go down there. So I'll just look at each one. I'll show everybody the gear, and you can just give any extra comments you want in every unit. So your top CP unit so far is Kisei. Gio, how important has Kisei been to your success?
Oh, to be honest, I didn't really use her much.
In the last season?
I think she's one of those heroes that she's pretty, like, high maintenance. Like, I don't have any imprints on her right now. If I had at least one,
yeah,
it would make a big difference, because there's different ways you could build her. You could build her like mid speed like this, or ideally you'd probably want her like the way like Elf Mage has her, like 270 speed.
Elf Mage's Kisei is ridiculous.
On speed and crit set and stuff. Like, Pensa is just there because I only have a plus 15 Wind Rider. If I had a higher level Wind Rider, I think that's when she becomes like a totally different hero.
Okay. So like you said, high maintenance. So as a free-to-play, it's been a little bit difficult for you to really maximize her.
No, I mean, she's definitely helped me in past seasons more. She's still good. She's still good right now. It's just, she demands more.
Yeah, you haven't used her much that last season, so that's okay. But guys, no imprints, no max Wind Rider, free-to-play status. Gio, you ready to move on from Kisei?
Yeah.
Okay. Arbiter Vildred up next. Did you pick him from Connections, or you had him already?
No, he was my second ML5.
Okay. And how often did we use him in the last season? Stat-wise, very nice. Higher speed than a lot of people run it at. Still has very good damage.
In the last season, unfortunately, not much. I mean, he's still usable. He could sometimes be a good 4 for 5th pick. He's still pretty good against some cleave.
But not too often for you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's more like in the past, he's been really good. But as you can see, I have him SSS. So that's just from...
Oh, we do have a triple S imprint.
Yeah, that's just from, like, I've always pulled on Vildred and RB, well, not RB banners, but I've always pulled on Vildred banners if I see them.
Okay, sure.
Because he used to be I think he's still really good now, but he's definitely fallen off.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we got Millum. Gio, Millum.
Here's an interesting hero.
Yeah, she's interesting.
So speaking of high maintenance heroes, this hero really demands a lot.
Of course,
but
yeah.
I think she's really good if you don't have like certain other heroes. Like if you don't have Rylet, if you don't have other strong like single target heroes, I think she's still really good hero. I mean, she has to be a 4th to 5th pick.
Yeah, but more for
she's-
you. How often did you use her, Gio?
Oh, a lot.
A
She was
lot
one of my,
in the
yeah.
especially in the later part of the season. Okay, he used her a lot still. Great.
She was a really well, the way kind of like the meta was, especially with I.A.N near the end, is you needed DPS that could take over the game by themselves, and Milim, I mean, she's not the best at it, but
For you, it worked.
She can, for sure.
Okay, DPS that can take over alone, and that was Gio's take was Milim.
Yeah.
Vildred up
And
next.
she's also one of the best book holders. Also,
sure. I think a lot of people opt for other arties, but yeah, book definitely still great on her. I actually run book still too. Vildred, and as Gio said, guys, he has double triple S on Vildred and Arby. But Gio, for you, we took a quick look at your battle log. You're not a cleaver, right? What would you say your playstyle is?
It's more, well, towards the end of the season, it's mostly standard. But I do like sometimes a little bit of aggro, but I never cleave.
Aggro, yeah, so a little bit more aggressive, but more standard as the season ended. Did you use Vildred at all? Probably not too much.
I did, but only before Dilibet and Celine got buffed. I kind of needed him against Cleave sometimes.
But
after, when Dilibet and Celine got buffed, I didn't use them at all because I didn't have to speed contest.
Okay.
As much as it was required before, pretty much. So unfortunately, I haven't really used them, but he's there.
Yeah.
Whenever things, whenever he's needed.
Okay. Next up is Spectenny. I know you used her a lot. Everybody uses her a lot. S rank imprint. Tell us about the Stenny for you, Gio.
It's definitely one of the best heroes right now, hands down.
Okay, and it looks like you opted for, just the normal speed crit, no immunity, no lifesteal. Anything particular about your Stenny? It seems pretty normal, very heavy damage, of course. Heavy on the damage side.
It's kind of what's required right now for her because stuff is so tanky. She still wants a little bit of bulk, but she wants as much damage as possible, around 200 speed.
Okay.
Ideally, you want her to move after Fallen Cecilia, so she could maybe knock Landy out of stealth, or she could just open up plays for you. But yeah, this hero is as great as she is, though, she could be a big kind of trap hero also, if you pick her too early.
Yeah, you can make a lot of misplays with her because of how she works.
And you always have to be ready for the Bellion counter pick. Because it's always going to come 4th or 5th pick. There's going to be a Bellion there if you pick Stenny before that. So that's something, if you're not ready for that, then you can't really pick her.
Yeah, speaking of, Gio, what's your pre-ban usually? Because a lot of Stenny pickers will pre-ban Bellion even if they're not cleaving.
I would have liked to pre-ban Bellion, but it opens up too many other things, too much aggro to come in.
Yeah, so what's your normal pre-ban?
The last 3 days, I actually pre-banned Archdemon Shadow.
Oh, Archdemon Marrow, okay.
But before that, I was pre-banning either AOL, which I have her now, but I didn't have her before.
Yeah.
Or a Ravi, which I don't have.
Yeah, you don't have APOC or who'd you say? What was the other one? AOL, yeah.
Angel of Light, yeah.
Cool, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
Team.
All right, Gio.
Oh hell yeah.
I.A.N as a non-cleaver, but full aggro?
Yeah, she's just another one of those 4th or 5th picks that, if they have no speed on their team, pretty much, you just throw her in there like you have Lilius on your team already, or you have Hera.
Yeah. So Gio,
she's one.
As a free-to-play, you're showing us that, you can play standard where you don't really have any super aggressive or super cleave style units, but you have them ready for when your opponent, when you think you can outspeed them. Is that what the I.A.N?
Yeah, you need to.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's why I say it's more of I could play completely standard every game, but if you you're gonna become like predictable. Like people are gonna see the way they play,
Yeah.
the way they're gonna take notes on you, whatever. You need to have certain picks that could surprise them, or like I didn't use either that much to be honest, but a lot of times she was a force span if she was picked.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty big, you know. If you want your other picks to go through, you know, she's. But yeah, you just need heroes like this, and she's also really good in Guild War right now, so that's.
All right.
This is really good.
Sure. Next up, Mercedes. Did we use her? How often did we use her, Gio?
No, I didn't.
Not at all.
I didn't really. Yeah,
She's got
unfortunately.
gear
I
on.
mean, she has some good gear, but she's mainly for Guild War.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, she's so
yeah,
annoying in Guild Wars.
So, but yeah, it's really hard. I mean, she's still pretty good, but you're like she's you know, she's a casino hero. Like you can't like, if you're looking to get legend or I.A.N or whatever, you can't rely on stuff like this unless if it's Violet or you know, or it's even stuff like Rem.
I don't want to go that far, but it maybe for you personally, you don't like that. But there have definitely been players that can rely on some RNG, and you know, if you play the odds, it works out. I wouldn't say you can't hit legend with playing RNG, but for you, you don't like it. Is that right?
Yeah, and Mercedes, I mean, you could technically pick her a lot of games, but I think A Ravi is a big problem for her. You know, Rimuru is a big problem.
Sure.
You know, she has low HP.
Yeah.
So
that's fine. All right, so don't use her that much. Only Guild Wars. Landy up next, Gio. This one, how often do we pick the Landy? Triple S.
We tried to pick her as much as possible.
Oh, so you still one of your main units?
Yeah, for sure. But in order to do that, usually you'll need Conqueror Lilius on your team because, unfortunately for Landy, you know, Conqueror Lilius, she just knocks her out of stealth.
Yeah.
Like right away.
Yeah.
Ideally, you want Fallen Cecilia on your team or Troublemaker Crozet, and she could still carry games. And I think she's still like one of the best heroes right now.
Okay. How do you deal with the Millims? Is it normally you pick her, or you just don't see them as often? Pick Landy later.
Landy would almost always be
we were doing
a 4th or 5th pick.
Oh hell yeah!
You know, that's the only unfortunate thing about the meta is that like there's not much heroes, there's not much DPS you could pick within like the first 3 picks.
Sure, yeah. That's definitely been a key thing for drafting guys. All the reviews I've done lately, they talk about the importance of draft order, and maybe Gio will get your input on that in a second. But next up, one of the strongest units right now, the Hua-Young, perfect 7,000 attack, B rank imprint, just for that little bonus. Thoughts on Hua-Young?
All right. Well, I didn't have her actually.
Oh, at the end of the season, you didn't have her?
Yeah, I just had to play against her pretty much.
Okay.
But yeah, this hero is I don't know, she's overtuned.
True.
I think her like the way she's designed and everything is good, but I don't know why they gave her like crit damage reduction or a barrier every turn. I think she still could have been strong. Without some of these, you know, she's a warrior that doesn't need to build much stats. Like, it's not hard to make her tanky. Like, why would they give her?
Of course, yeah. We all know how good she is, but for you, Gio, how has she been shaping up? Maybe you didn't have her at the end of the season, like you said, so she didn't help you in Legend, but you've been testing her in preseason because she's built plus 15.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how to pick her well, because a lot of people, they try to pick her like pretty early.
Yeah, first pick material for some.
And she is, you know, she does have counterplay, but I don't know. I'll have to play her more. I know she's one of the best Guild War heroes right now, so that's
where you're using it mostly. Okay, we'll see. Yeah. Hopefully this season she'll be very good for you. Vivian, any PvP play? This is Banshee or what? She has immunity.
Yeah, it is.
What is this for? Guild Wars?
No, I used her maybe a handful of times.
Oh really? Okay, tell us about that then.
But it's almost sometimes you could pick her in combination with Landy.
All right. Like
a 4th to 5th pick thing. You
just for the attack up and immunity or what?
Well, Vivian, you know, she CR pushes herself after S3, and then Landy could push her up.
For some really good CR, and then the speed up. Sure, yeah. Sometimes you may lap, and then it's just a lot of early pressure. Okay.
And also, I mean, she's, I'm gonna be honest, she's not good right now.
Yeah.
But it was just based on what I have. I need to put this gear on someone.
Okay. Hey, as a free to play, you got to do what you got to do.
And she's also, I mean, she has immunity. She's so like, you know, before I was pre-banning Archdemon Shadow,
Yep.
you know, she was a big issue. Sometimes sometimes they'll bring out the Vivian, and sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't.
You mean for the immunity, Geo? You bring the immunity
Yeah,
versus
yeah.
the shadow? Yeah.
Yeah.
Bringing team-wide immunity, of course, very strong, stopping early Archdemon shenanigans. And she looks great, right, Giovanni? What's your favorite waifu?
Yeah.
Or husband?
My favorite one.
Yeah, looks-wise, looks-wise.
I like I would say I like Mercedes, you know.
Okay.
But it might be kind of biased because she's also done a lot for me.
Oh,
like you know, I mentioned Guild War because I'm in Abandon. You know, it's a top 3 guild.
Who?
So
Abandoned? I'm kidding. Gio, we had a question from chat though. The skin situation. Why don't you have her skin? Chat is asking. I know the answer, but tell chat and YouTube what the answer is for no skin. There's an answer I want you to say.
I think the skin is great, and I was gonna buy it, but I don't. There's too many things coming up right now.
And you are
free to.
Let's go. He's free to play, guys. Sometimes you got to make tough choices. Free to play. Yes. Sometimes some of y'all will buy skins as free to play. They give you access just using Sky Stones. But hey, Mr. Giovanni here. How is he gonna get his triple S Vildreds? You know, triple S Landies. He has to save some Sky Stones here and there, right, Gio? All right. Let's keep moving on.
Exactly.
Kayron, any players? This kind of also Guild Wars. I haven't seen too many people use him realistically in RTA.
No, yeah, he's pretty bad. I just use him like in Labyrinth.
Mm-hmm.
For some of the higher,
sure.
Some of the higher, what is it called? The morale teams. He's on all of them. So
buff this man and give his ML form already. Politis. You definitely use this one, Gio. Everybody used the Politis this last season, I think, that played competitively, right?
Yeah, I would say I used her a lot, but before, once, as I said, there was a point where Dilibet and Celine got buffed.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel she was as needed sometimes, because Cleve had toned down a bit.
Okay.
Once Dilibet was buffed, it really helped. Like Politis, I mean, the only thing I don't like about her is like I did have like the tanky build, you know, maybe high effectiveness or high FRES, but I don't know, like it feels really bad when you I plus 15 there for this season, and then you're switching to some build that has like no damage.
Exactly. Yeah, the trend lately, Gio, is like mega ER and some effectiveness just to like crown people, correct? Tankier too.
Yeah, pretty much. But I don't know. When you waste Mola and then you just I just want to keep her.
As a free to play, I imagine that could be rough. So, do you have any advice? I guess as someone who you invested her for the build for the season, which was higher damage, guys, and then as we all saw, right, a lot of y'all said it was cringe when everybody started shifting mega effect resist, and Gio's saying now he wasted his Molas. Is that just part of the game, Gio? Do you have any advice for up-and-coming free-to-plays that want to push Legend? What do they got to do?
Well, I think the main reason I say is because Politis, she's one of those heroes that, she doesn't need a lot of Mola to do her job.
So you shouldn't have invested that many Molas in it? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, I've been using her for a long time, but with lower Molas. So, sometimes there's just these heroes like this where their utility is so high.
Mm-hmm.
And they're so useful even without high Mola, which makes them really valuable. But sometimes, if you're going for Legend or Emperor or whatever, you need that extra edge.
You do? All right.
On these heroes if you're using them often.
Gio, last question. Why is her expression like that?
I don't know. I just put that today. I don't know. I think she had the ones with her, like the smiling one before.
Yeah, I think you might be projecting on your wasted Molas. I think that's why you gave her the sad face. Okay, Ran up next, Gio. 292 speed. Guys, a lot of y'all in chat, I think, could beat Gio in a speed contest here. He is free to play, like I keep saying, but Gio, talk to us about the Ran.
Yeah, this is not the Ran that you pick early in a draft. Mm-hmm. This is just the Ran that you would, it could be a 3rd to 5th pick. know, if you see they're going real, like same thing with Ida. If you see they're going like
Exactly.
really passive and
Slower.
you know,
You
and
take
he's
advantage of
a
it.
you know, if they have he's pretty good against Fallen Cecilia. Like if you don't get her
Yeah.
in the draft, you could slow burn his S3 if you need to. But yeah, he's good to have around. You know,
Gio, I hate, as a slow, more passive player, I hate when people bust out the Ran, meaning it's very good versus me and other people that have playstyles like me. So yeah, the third, fourth pick Ran, it's tough to deal with. A lot of times you kind of just have to ban it.
No, yeah, I hate it too because it just puts you like you don't know what they're gonna do next.
Yeah.
Or it's like
The shift to it is pretty. ATK, stop it. All right, next up we got Tenebria. She was actually in the WCG. I don't know if you caught it, but this looks like this is what, Wyvern or sorry, Expedition or something.
yeah, it's just for the
okay,
yeah,
we can skip through it. Assassin's Hid. 297 speed, guys. That's pretty fast. Geo as free to play. That's pretty dang fast. Speed contester. How often did you pick him?
Kind of the same thing as like Green Vildred. After Dilibet was buffed, I didn't use him at all.
Yeah.
But before Dilibet was buffed, I could sometimes pick him and Vildred together, so he reaches a speed where he matters, or maybe.
I think with the you still have a good crit damage, attack a little light, but for all the stats considered, that's a very good Sid. For
yeah, he has
for free to play for sure.
He has my best ring on him.
Yeah, the 21 speeder. I saw that. Very nice. Okay. Hand guy up next. Geo, I saw in a lot of drafts, of course. You know, I saw him picked very often, right? Almost, he was first picked a lot too?
Yeah. Well, one thing about him is that I feel like I didn't take... I mean, towards the end of the season, I used him almost any match I could. But I feel like I didn't use him enough throughout the season, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because there's so much... Like, people would just try to cleave you left and right. And if you early picked him or you first picked him...
you'd be susceptible to getting cleaved.
Yeah, so that's why, like, I mean, when we reach Dilibet, I'll talk more about her and how important, you know, that was that they buffed her. But basically, I hope everyone could get him, you know, next month. I think it's really good he's coming back.
Yeah, my chat's excited. Like, can you comment to us about what's with the 70 effectiveness? Is this build what you liked for the stats?
Well, during the season itself, he didn't have any effectiveness. But he had similar bulk. It's just, you know, H inheritance, you know, the gear from there. You know, I got the ring. The ring has like 40 effectiveness on it or something.
So it's more out of just what rolled, you weren't really gunning for that kind of effectiveness?
Well, no, I think it's ideal right now to have it.
For the S2 strip or what?
Yeah, you could, a lot of stuff has something, like if it's something like Lionheart Sermia, you know, you could strip her after
her
she
S2.
gets, which is really big sometimes. Just some stuff has like random ER, like sometimes like Rimuru would even have like some ER, and if you don't strip, like, or he has his ER buff.
Okay.
That he gets, so.
Alright, well he says, guys, hopefully y'all can pick him up soon, right, Gio?
No, yeah, you'll need him.
Hey guys, what is up? Awesome to Sauce here. Hope you guys are having a great day.
You'll need him, free to plays. You'll need him. Okay, Researcher Carrot next. Geo as free to plays. I think I always recommend her, but for you specifically, the Legend free to play, how impactful was she for you?
I didn't really use her much.
Okay,
you know,
I think that's more for the newer players. I still think she's great.
She's still pretty good. In the future, I want to put her more like on a faster build. But right now, like sometimes, you know, she's okay against Bellion teams sometimes. But otherwise, I mean, there's a lot of heroes good against Bellion, so it's not.
Oh, we were doing a lowly team.
I think I would have to revamp her build. I don't think.
For 8 months.
You know, this would be it right now.
You said, yeah, revamp with a little more speed or something. Okay. Pillis, another free-to-play kind of special unit. But you're on Adamant, Geo. And kind of slow.
She should be on Aureus, but this is for Guild War today.
Guild War setup, okay. So on Aureus for, because you got the good ER. Is the speed supposed to be at 163? Mega HP, I'm assuming HP boots. Yep.
if you're using her in RTA, you'd probably want around 200.
So this is just the Guild War build, and
Yeah, it's just
RTA
for
you
Guild.
increase the speed.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I mean, I didn't use. There were points in the season where I used her more than not, but towards the end I didn't use her.
Sure.
But
All
she's a good hero. You know,
Of course.
she's good.
All right, next up, Luna, one of my favorites, right, chat? Luna, Gio, talk to us.
It's just for Fire Expo, pretty much.
Just for
Like
Fire Expo, boys.
So
Dang it. Chaos. Shut up. All right, we'll move on. Just Fire Expo. Falcon or Kaluri, any PvP usage?
no. I mean, I would have to make her faster, I think, for RTA, but I do use her.
I've seen some people pull off 250s.
Guild War.
Okay,
Yeah,
but for you'd want her faster to use her comfortably. All right, mostly Guild Wars, boys. Next up, I know this one though, Gio. You definitely use an RTA, correct?
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah, I definitely use them.
Okay.
Although,
go ahead.
Towards the end, I didn't use him much because I had to play more safe, kind of. And the issue at Rimuru is, I would say he's a little better, like more like aggro comps, you know, and people they know how to play around him at this point. So despite him being really good, it's you can't use him as a solo DPS usually.
Oh, that's for sure, and that's kind of been your thing, right? You mentioned on the Milim, you like to have a DPS that can carry an entire match alone. So for you, that's why you don't like him. But chat, how many of y'all can play around Remo? Chat, are y'all all good fighting him? For me, heck no, man. I know what he does now, but I still don't want to fight this guy, dude. All right, Gio. Next up, Sage Ball.
Yeah, this is a big hero, Sage Ball. He's one of the best.
Interesting.
Anti-cleave heroes.
All right, Gio.
Right now.
Take us through it. So Bastion, B rank imprint. Yeah, talk to us about his role for anti-cleave for you.
He works really well with Dilibet also because it's either you have to ban one or the other usually.
Okay.
And he pretty much, I don't know, he has high enough ER to resist Payras,
especially on the Bastion. Yep.
You know, and he's very disruptive. You know, and if they don't really know how to play against him that well, then you could easily just win a game just by picking this hero sometimes.
But specifically, you only pick him into anti-cleave alongside Dilibet. Is that what you said?
Yeah, he's only. I mean, you could use him outside of.
Of course,
cleave,
but for you, you don't use him anywhere outside of cleave, right?
No.
Okay. All right, looks good. AOL up next. You said you just picked her up recently.
Well, I got her the day before the last day, so I didn't have her built.
So you didn't use her at all for your legend climb, but now, how's she been doing for you?
I mean, I haven't really gotten to use her, but I think she'll help a lot.
I think she'll help him too, guys. All right, well, hopefully we'll see this season, Gio. What were you about to say?
Especially, if you have, ML Koeric, people, you just pick them together.
Oh, you pick them together. Okay. All right. Next up is Blue Crow. I'm guessing, though, Gio, since you didn't use pillets too much, your main knight is Fallen Cecilia, right? Which we're going to see soon. How often do you use Crow?
I didn't use him at all, but I think he'll gain more usage soon.
Yeah, I think so too.
I just think he gets controlled by stuff like Payra and Lilius.
And of course, the main thing, but also he has a good point, guys, getting controlled by the high effectiveness openers. But the main thing people have been saying lately is the A-Ravis. What is it else, Gio? The Bellions potentially just injury really hurts his S3 kit in a longer match. But with how aggressive things have been, he's actually been being picked up by a lot lately. And Gio said it too. He's gonna get more. His stocks will go up probably soon, is his guess. Anything else on the crowd, Gio?
No, I mean the main reason he has this gear is for Guild War he needs the best gear possible. He's one of the best heroes on Guild War.
Guys, Gio's he's not just a legend RTA free to play. He's a Guild War connoisseur. All his units he has to have Guild Wars in mind. Abandoned still, big time competitive, big time sweaty. Gio, next up, Watcher Shuri. You have some cleave units ready to go.
Yeah, I didn't really use him, but he was ready. Speed imprint.
Yeah.
But I didn't use him. No.
Didn't use him. All right. Well, I'll just show the gear real fast. But if you needed him, he was ready. Triple S, EE, locked and loaded. This one, though, Gio, you definitely used on Music Box. My favorite one as well. Pretty good speed, Gio. Not bad.
Yeah. I think this is still the best hero in the game.
Best hero in the game, he says, boys. 22 speed helmet. All right, Gio, take us through. What did she do for your kind of lineup, your matches?
She would always be a first pick if possible. Even if there was more counter, she would always be a first pick.
Yeah, I'm saying like no matter what, it wasn't if they looked like they were cleaving or if after Para came out, you still just slammed first pick when you could.
Well, the funny thing about her is that towards the end of the season, like she wasn't even a bad first pick against cleave because they would have to still speed contest her. Like they don't know. I mean, obviously I'm not that fast. It's 290.
Yeah.
But the way they draft, they still have to draft to outspeed her. So I think she was just overall like the safest first pick available.
Okay. All right. Next up, Last Rider Crowd, Gio. Some people may want to be picking him up from that Mystic rotation coming up. Any thoughts on him?
Hey, he's pretty good. I mean, I did use him, not the last days, but like kind of
in the season.
Yeah, within the last like 1 to 2 weeks, I used him. Yeah, in combination with Dilibet, he was really nice.
We need to get to this Dilibet, Gio. I feel like a lot of your success, or at least you really like the Dilibet style. But yeah, you used them with her.
Well, sure. Well, what happened was when Dilibet was first buffed.
Yeah.
There was like some aggro comps with her you could do. Like people didn't really know how to play against her that well yet.
Okay.
Like they won't be like, oh, I could hold S2 on Para, or no, they weren't doing that. They were just like
they're just slamming stuff.
So like they're like a common answer to Lilius was you just go Rimuru, Dilibet.
Okay.
And they won't know what to do like after that, and then like you could go ML Crowd. You could just go like all these aggro heroes, and like I think Dilibet's CR push helped ML Crowd out, so you don't have to be that fast.
All right. Yeah, 213 speed. Okay, so guys, a lot of people have kind of either dropped him, but Gio said he still used him in like the last week or two, which is still very important for the legend climb. All right, next up is Crozet. Crozet, Gio.
I think he's the second best knight in the game right now.
Okay, behind who's the number one?
Fallen Cecilia, definitely.
Sure. And Crozet, when did you bust him out? Is it anti-cleave only, or did you use him in some standard matches too?
You could use him any match.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, but I think what's really important is the speed. And he only has 98 base speed, so like you have to, I give him some speed.
Sure. Your ER, I would say, is a lot lower than what I've seen most people run. Any thoughts on that?
I mean, I would like to have 100 or more, but I don't have the gear for it right now.
Yeah, Gio.
Well, I probably.
Can you humor me real fast? We don't have Mega ER because you are.
I guess because I'm free to play, right?
I'm kidding. That's probably not the entire reason, guys, but look, all his units, right? As a legend player, he hasn't. It's not anything. Every unit's not crazy good. Gio, they're about to see some other reviews, like the Kotick one yesterday, which, by the way, I don't know if you saw it, Gio. Kotick and Lunao were saying Dilibet is very bad, so hopefully you can change the minds of people watching.
Yeah, okay. I mean, when we get there.
Yeah, we'll get to her. All right, next up, Gio. Violet. Take us through Violet. Yep.
He's still, once again, he's still a good 4th-5th pick. And he's one of those heroes that, I mean, besides RNG or whatever, he could still like carry a game if the draft allows you to.
Is that why you have him on pen set instead of immunity? Most people swap to immunity and use him just for cleaving, anti-cleave, excuse me.
Yeah, I was considering it, but even for anti-cleave, he would be more of like a last pick for me because they could still just use summertime Izaria and stuff.
Sure.
But I still want him to be strong enough for just standard play. Because when when you don't have stuff like Rylet or ADS or whatever, like these heroes that like if you hit them, they could be punished. Violet's one of those heroes. If they draft a bunch of AoE, they draft Bellion. He would become a force ban, or if he gets through in the ideal situation, he'll win you the game.
Good. Tell him, Gio. A lot of the other legends that, maybe have been playing longer, have more gear, spent more money, they dropped Violet in favor for other units, but Gio's saying you still pick him, and he kept it on pen set. He's still 4th and 5th picks when everyone else dropped him outside of anti-cleave, so guys, very accessible option. Keep using him, Gio says. All right, Gio, a Tywin. We talked about Last Rider Crow, the other golden boy. Any use?
He can't really. I mean,
give it to him straight, Gio. Just say it. What were you about to say? Bad?
He's a relic of the past.
There you go.
He's really good.
So,
but he's not. I mean, technically you could use him, but he doesn't do well against a lot of things right now. There's too much immunity. Stuff is too tanky, like a Ravi. He's just not. He doesn't do enough. He's not even that good at anti-cleave anymore.
Yeah, unfortunate. Maybe in the future. All right, Lionheart. This one you definitely drafted a lot. I saw in the logs. Talk to us about the Lionheart.
Yeah, this hero is as I said, since I'm lacking DPS that could take over a game. This was exactly what I needed, pretty much.
Same here, dude. Same here.
She's someone that you could pick. I wouldn't pick her 2nd pick, but you could pick her 3rd. And I think the 3rd pick is really important in a lot of the drafts because it could determine, like, just the way things go near the end, where you could just counter what they do and everything. But yeah, this hero is just now she has her weaknesses, of course. She could stuff like Rimuru or Hua-Young.
Yeah, but Gio, when you drafted her, was it did you wait for them to pick an activator, or would you just pick her 3rd pick no matter what? And pray for a dual attack?
I would probably need at least 2 things on their team that would activate her. Like if it's
2
just
things, I bring her with just 1. Gio, if you're gonna pick her in the 3rd spot, how are you waiting for 2 activators? Usually that doesn't happen on their first 2 picks.
Well, the 3rd pick would be like it would. Okay, let me rephrase. It would be more of a 4th or 5th pick.
Okay.
But if they choose 2 things early, or just like I don't know, like it could be like C Lilius with something. Like say they go C Lilius and not Rimuru, pretty much, right?
Okay.
In their first 3 picks, then yeah, you could pick her as a 3rd pick because there's no Rimuru there. Because Rimuru hurts her a lot. Just one shots her. If you don't have enough. Protection. So.
Yeah. I got you. All right. So very good for you. Next up, we got Ruel on Proof. What the? Mega chonky. Is this for Guild Wars or is this actual RTA?
It's for both, but she wasn't really that good towards the end of the season.
Yeah, that's what most people said.
But otherwise, she'll be ready, for this new frenzy coming up.
Okay.
But otherwise, Proof of Valor's, it's for Guild War.
All right, got it. Next up, Bazaar. Quick comments?
Like her and him and Fairy Tail Tenebria. I mean, they could still be good late picks. I mean, I didn't really use them.
Okay, so her and Fairy Tail, you both. We can kind of talk about them together. They both kind of do similar roles, right? Early unbuffable, early debuffs, but you didn't use them much this last season?
Well, Tenebria, most times you pick her late, she gets banned anyway. Like if it's a good situation.
But we still we still consider that you as picking her, right?
Yeah.
Are you saying you did pick her and she just got banned?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Especially because you like to take the FCC, yeah. So I could see you using her here and there as a must ban. All right.
Yeah.
Next up is the other Sirmia, but did you use her at this one at all? This is just Expos, right? Something. Hunts.
You could just skip to Fallen Cecilia.
All right, we'll skip the Lilius. Unfortunately, sorry, Talos. We're gonna go straight to Fallen Cecilia. Gio's #1 tank. Is this your #1 unit, period, or just tanks?
No, just the best tank.
Just the best tank. Okay, well, 30k health is very nice. 210 speed, good enough. Good enough defense. We got a little bit of sprinkle of crit chance, crit damage. Not intentional, but it's just there. Why not? Anything else you want to talk about? You kind of mentioned a few things. You use her in speed tuning. You can bring Landies out of stealth with her. Anything else, Gio? Number one tank pick.
She's kind of just, she's like a check to a lot of things right now, especially with, you know, even before I.A.N came out, she was still just you know, she just covers a lot of bases pretty much. And then now she's even more important because she's one of the few things that could stop I.A.N from one-shotting.
Oh, very good point. Yeah, the barrier.
And, you know, and same thing as Troublemaker Crozet. They're two of like the only heroes. I mean, a Carmen might become one also, like, you know, with double reband, but she wasn't that good.
Sure.
But yes, this hero, the only thing I'm worried about, she's gonna get pre-banned more now because of the double pre-ban.
Possibly, yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
but otherwise, yeah, she's one of the best.
Love it.
Well, she is the best tank, yeah.
All right, GP, General Purgus, Wyvern only, any PvP. There's some effect resist on here. What is this?
Yeah, it's just for Wyvern.
Just for Wyvern, boys. All right, Gio, we got the unit you've been talking about nonstop, but you only gave her a plus 15 Warhorn. Talk to us about the Dilibet. It sounds like she was very important for you in the last season.
Well, I would say more her impact on the game was important. Like, she was important for me, but as you said, some people they call her not as good or overrated.
Yeah,
and that's kind of true. But I just think kind of like politics, like the impact they had on the meta was just really big.
that's fair. That's fair to say. But talk to us about you, Gio. What does she do for you? You mentioned a lot of interactions with her and LRK, with her for this and that. Yeah, we want to hear about that stuff.
Okay, well, she's one of the best answers to, you know, C. Lilius, Peyra.
Okay.
And you could say, oh, they could just skip doing
Hold their skill.
the rest, S3, but based on the draft, can they afford to do that? Like, can they afford to not strip and unbuffable your units? You know, like, I just think her presence, being able to early pick her, you know, she was, and also against Cleave, you know, she was, that's why she has the Warhorn, because it stops some of the counterplay that Cleave could do against her.
Mm-hmm.
Because all this, like she boosts 40 CR, and then like all of a sudden she boosts another 15, and they just lose. You know, like, you can't really do that with any other artifact besides what is it called, Azure Comet.
Sure.
Like, if something dies.
Yeah. Or the
I
current
just
frenzy
think,
changes.
but I think the most for me myself is she allowed me to feel more comfortable when drafting.
Okay.
Because as I said before her buff, you know, people are just spamming these cleaves like crazy. You know, you couldn't look anywhere without seeing all these different cleaves.
All right, guys, use the Dilibet. Would you recommend newer, especially free-to-plays, Gio, if they had to choose, should they look at pulling Dilibet with their Mystics?
I don't know, because there's too many other good heroes that might.
So just say, what's your priority? Hand guy first? Coeric first?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe Dilibet after.
Hand guy first.
Hand guy first, he said.
She, as good as I think she is, as I said, I just think her presence is enough for some players. You don't need to have her, pretty much.
Okay. Just her presence impacted the meta in a good way, he says.
Yeah.
All right, Carmen, do we need to talk about her? She's kind of your third or fourth pick knight. Share her stats, speed tune how you want it, good enough effect resist, good bulk. Anything else you want to say, Gio? Not much, right?
No, I didn't use her, so.
Okay. It's ready, though.
I did. Yeah, I used her earlier in the season, but
I think
but then she kind of fell off a bit.
Mm-hmm. All right, Cigarette, Wyvern, any Raz play for RTA? I'm guessing not with Candlestick. No, skip.
You just got Billion.
Billion. And she's on injury, Gio. Missing a little crit chance. Talk to us about the Billion.
Yeah, no, even though, you know, she did fall off slightly, she was still one of the most important heroes to have in the last 3 picks, whatever.
Okay.
You know, she has more counters now, but, you know, because Steny, like, you know, Spectre Tenebria, she became so good towards, like, especially in the last week, she was really good. So you needed Bellion there in order to somewhat just give yourself a chance sometimes, you know.
Okay.
So I think even though Bellion, she's not the third pick she used to be, I think not having her is well it's gonna hurt you a lot trying to get to legend, I think.
Sure,
or
but
high
what about the injury, Gio? Even though you picked her in third or fourth, you like that over like counter, for example? Because it seems like your style doesn't really benefit injury Bellion.
I think because I don't have a Ravi,
Yeah.
or like I kind of need the injury to fight her, because like I'll you know, with injury she could beat teams that have a Ravi.
Okay.
If she's picked well. So I mean, counter is really good. Don't get me wrong, but
You liked injury though.
yeah, injury.
That's
is,
what I'm asking.
I think yeah, it's ideal.
Ideal. All right. He liked the injury, guys, in a later pick. Cerise, can we skip this? You didn't use her at all? Because this next unit exists now. Para on her own arty. 303 speed, Gio. You're kind of a speedster. I'm going to say. You got some good luck on the speed subs. 24 speed helmet. My God, Gio. Okay. Feel like some people are going to say this was a lot of luck. But yeah, Ty, anything to say about Para? One of the best openers, right? You liked Conquer Lilius more, though.
Yeah, I would say Para throughout the season, she was the go-to pick, like against Conquer Lilius, but towards the end, say like if you saw Conquer Lilius like first pick, instead of going Para hand guy or Para Dilibet, I started going hand guy FCC. It's just a safer, you know, Para is just, I don't know. So I think she's really good. You know, she's one of the best heroes, but she's a bit, I guess, volatile at times.
Sure.
Like, you know, if you need
less
her
safe
to land,
than FCC hand guy opener.
yeah,
opener.
like pretty much.
Okay. We're gonna skip Ray. Anything you need to say about Rowana? I don't know what I was supposed to say. Rowana. Anything on Rowana? Besides, you know, she's a counter pick when you need her.
Yeah, I don't know. She was decent sometimes. You know, sometimes against, I don't know, like even sometimes against Archdemon, Shadow, she's okay.
That's what I meant.
But it's
like,
more like
people mostly know that you use her against the extra attacks, SSB, Archmeru. Those are the main ones. Fire Meru, but yeah. Nothing else on that? Just a good counter pick, right?
Yeah, that's it, pretty much.
Okay. Amelia. Guys, Amelia's about to be crazy. Guys, I don't know. The Rowana, someone in chat saying she isn't on counter set. Interesting. Boys, Rowana just has to exist. Anyone that has her on counter, they're just flexing. It's usually just a flex. Sorry, Gio. YouTube, sorry. Quick interruption. The king of... God, I don't know why I started with the king. I'm the king of... The king of... What did he innovate, boys, this season? King of... Nah, I was gonna say Copium. I wanted something good. The king of... Guys, a unit. Give me a unit. Anyways, Kana is the homie for sure. Thank you, Kana. YouTube, you probably know of him. If you don't, check him out on YouTube and Twitch. But we're doing a Giovanni Legend free-to-play review, boys. Welcome on in, Kana. Much appreciated. Always a pleasure, brother. Gio, where were we? Amelia, right? She's about to get 20 speed base. Or just 20 speed addition tonight. Kind of cringe. Gio, thoughts on your Amelia, though, for the later parts of the season?
I just think she was a bit overshadowed by ML Queric, pretty much.
King of Shuna.
But if you didn't it's no, I think she's really good, but
you opted for Queric instead.
Yeah, I didn't really pick her. I think. Well, also, I would usually go with Troublemaker Crozet over her also.
Interesting.
Because you needed as much, like you would need as much mitigation as possible. Sometimes Amelia, she doesn't help you survive.
Sure.
Get one shot by Young, Rimuru, whatever. So maybe I could have used her better. I don't know. But
okay. No worries. All right. Next up, LQC with proof of victory helmet. Any comments on the LQC? Pretty standard for most players. The build looks about normal, maybe slightly low on speed. But it actually, the attack and crit damage, Gio, was this enough? I feel like you're a little bit lacking in damage for some builds. Was
She
it good
used
enough
to
for
have
you?
more damage, but I think I was trying to get more of a bulkier build just to make her even usable.
Okay.
'Cause
But you
I
were
don't know,
still,
I just
you still used it? Her, I should say?
no, I didn't get to use her much. No.
Okay. Is that because you ban APOC Ravis? You don't use, you have other answers for that? Any other?
I don't. It's kind of like a similar thing to Rimuru. Like, I mean, she can sometimes carry a game on her own, but a lot of times she can't.
You
know?
like units that can carry on their own. That's what it is, Gio.
Yeah.
Got it.
I'm not. Yeah.
No worries. All right. Sinji, anything? Doctor's Bag. Budget Coeric Tech.
I didn't use her, but I just have her ready for next season.
For next season. All right. There you go. Boys, 20 plus 20 speed. Okay. Oh, wait, Call's actually saying this was good damage for LQC. 283. Really, Call? I feel like 4K attack and... Yeah, Call saying is actually good. Okay. Next up is Rem Geo. You mentioned you don't like RNG that much. Or the casino style. Bulk is... the health is lower than usual, but I think that's very nice defense for sure.
Yeah, I just think she's... well, she's only B imprint also, so she has the crit chance imprint, so it kind of hurts how well you could build her sometimes.
Yeah, but for you, how did you pick her, Gio?
Not much.
Not
like,
much.
If anything, if I had to choose someone to do a similar role, it'd be SSB.
Okay, and we're about to see her in a little bit.
Ram would be more like maybe some anti-cleave. That's really it.
Got it. Anti-cleave, okay. Fighter Maya is your rep hero. Gio, I asked you your favorite unit. It's not Fighter Maya? She's the rep.
She looked nice with the frame, so I put her.
Ah, matching frame. Got you. That's a good tech. Okay. No
It's
thoughts
just
on her though, right? Did you use her at all?
No, it's just her Guild War.
Okay, just Guild War. Rose, I'm assuming no use. Looks great though.
It's just for Fire Expo.
Fire Expo. Charlotte! Is the Charlotte benched? She's sad, Gio. Are we still busting her out here and there?
No, I don't even think she's that usable anymore.
Okay.
And I think it's just so hard to get gear for her also. You know,
that's
if you
true.
Don't...
Especially for newer players, it's very hard to find gear that has no crit chance, and especially on lifesteal. But you don't use her, and she's you said she fell off, right?
Yeah. Well, I just think picking her, I think she could still be good, but there's just too many aggressive things that could control her or remove her buffs. You know, it's just hard. Okay. Even as a last pick, you know, she's not that reliable sometimes.
That's why she's got the sad face. SSB, you mentioned you like this. You like her over Rem. Bulk is a little bit light for like a tankier SSB, but everything else looks like it's on point. Pretty high attack for Rengar's Drink on immunity lifesteal. Okay.
Yeah, it's just a budget lifesteal.
Sure. Hey, but even on budget build, you brought her out here and there?
Yeah, she, the only bad thing about SSB is like she's not tanky enough, well, especially mine. But yeah, she could be a great, last two picks again. You know, it's a trend. You can only use these heroes. Obviously, she's good against stuff like Bellion. You know, any type of AOE, she could be all right.
For sure. Okay. Let's move along. Yeah, I think we're nearing the end of the review, right? Is there anything else here? Rob? Nope. Ungeared?
No, these are just... Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay, well, Gio, someone requested in chat, they wanted to see anything different about your hunt teams. Do you want to make any comments about them, or is it pretty standard stuff? This is a very standard lineup for your Wyvern. Where's your Banshee team? Is it on here somewhere?
I don't have Banshee is just...
It's not built right now?
No, I'm not... my Banshee team is just the normal, Vivian, Viking, yeah.
Okay, so you have your Wyvern team set up, your Banshee team. I guess, Gio, close us out with whatever closing thoughts you want, and then advice for the other up-and-coming free-to-plays wanting to hit Legend as well.
Well, one thing to mention about this team right here is like you're gonna want one shots, obviously, eventually, but it's not hunt buff, so I need the heroes geared for something else. But yeah, I would say you just have to really be patient.
Be patient.
Because as I said, this account is it's 2.5 years old.
Sure.
And it may not be up to speed with some people who have the same amount of mileage on their account. But as I said, I think you can't feel like you have to try to wait for the ML5s that really matter, like stuff like Conquer Lilius or Bellion, stuff like that. You need to like just try to be ready for.
Okay.
Just like next month we have
Coeric.
We have ML Coeric, so he's kind of like do whatever you have to get him. Like even if you want to break your free to play status.
Whoa!
Just.
We're trying to keep the free to play, but hey, he's saying he's that important, guys. He's saying he's that important. All right, well, Gio, I think the takeaway from that is mostly let's be like you skip the skin on the epic pass. Sometimes you got to be patient. You got to wait for those really, really impactful heroes if you want to push legend. All the other free to plays, guys, keep doing your thing. Pull for whoever you want. Just Gio is showing us that to hit legend, right? You had to put in a lot of work, a lot of time, be patient, and you do have to kind of pick and choose only the best of the best units sometimes because you have less resources, of course. Anything else, Gio?
Yeah, can I just add like 2 things?
Sure.
Really quick.
Go ahead.
Another thing about ML Coeric is like he's not gonna. I mean, just to be realistic, he's not gonna solve all your problems. Okay, because yeah, everyone in the high ladder they have him, but there's a lot of people. They have him, they didn't do well with him. He's as good as the heroes he's supporting. He's not gonna be your savior. Just because he helps people get legend doesn't mean, because as I said, during the season, I actually didn't even use him that much until towards the end of the season when he's really good when metas change, like slightly, like when Hua-Young became big and everything. He's really good. He helps you shift easier. The different drafts pretty much.
Okay. But despite all that, Gio, you still think he's the must pull out of the rotations coming up, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
it is
one
true,
other
though.
thing I want to mention is I think the next 3-4 months is going to be big, not just for free to play players, but for everyone. As we have the schedule of which we never gone before. We have the schedule of all the ML5s the next 3-4 months.
Oh yeah.
So this is the best time to plan how you're going to attack that. Hopefully you get lucky on something or whatever.
Yeah,
but
plays
I think,
get lucky.
And also those molas we're gonna get was 66.
Oh, it's over 100. It's 100 total, I think. But yeah, Gio, for you, we were showing some of your units aren't fully mullet because you had the plus 15 like Politis, for example. And then I think you had a few units you probably want to plus 15 here and there.
Yeah, I want to work on Angel Light and Celine also.
Angel Light, Celine.
I don't have Celine. But yeah, I think this is where these next couple of months can allow certain players to get ahead of others, whether if you're early game, mid game, even late game. So I think this is a really important time right now just to plan how you're gonna, how you want your E7 experience to go. It's pretty much in your hands.
There you go, boys. The destiny is in your hands. From Giovanni. Do that and you will hit legend. Is that true, Gio? They watch this review, they're going to get legend.
It's a possibility, yeah.
I was trying to set him up. He's right, though, guys. It's a possibility. Put in the work, get lucky, and pull hand guy. All right? He won't solve all your problems, but definitely get this guy, Mediator Coeric. All right, Gio. Well, thank you for coming on, my man. Always a pleasure. And I hope to see you in Legend next season as well, dude. Stay free to play if that's what you want, but I would like to see you stay free to play, and because there's not very many anymore that are Legend. I don't know if there's more than a handful. I'm not sure, but yeah. Anything else, Gio? No stream, no YouTube, just a player.
No, but I mean, if anyone had any questions, I guess I could answer. But
yeah, we'll do that after we say bye to YouTube. Gio, if you want to hang around, well, yeah, we can do a quick Q&A. Gio, thank you for joining us. Stick around though. YouTube, take it easy. Stay free to play, boys, and get Coeric. Much love, guys.